Hello, hello! Pizza Pax here, and we're back with Throwback Thursday, episode number 23. I'm actually recording this a little early, though. Today is Christmas. Today we're doing the quarterfinalist Brian Hacker. Again, we have another one of the limited edition sets. So, let's get into this. All right. Now, the outside of this is the same as all of the others. Only difference is the deck. I'm not going to go over what all's included. It does have the video, and, well, again, it's the video in the deck. That's all that's really in there. And then next week, we will do the finalist. Or the champion, rather. This week, we have Brian Hacker, quarterfinalist. Brian Hacker's White Weenie deck rolled over competitors with more than 20 aggressive creatures. This horde relies on creatures with shadow and in-core to overwhelm the unprepared, with the threat of cataclysm looming large. Very cool. Right. Let's pull in. Refocus. Alright, so his deck has 12 planes, 3 nomads in core, 3 paladin in Vec, 4 Soltari monk, 4 Soltari priest, 1 Soltari visionary, 4 soul warden, 4 warrior in core, 4 white knight, 1 aura of silence, 4 cataclysm, 3 disenchant, 3 imperial armor, 4 imperial armor, and 4 tithe. And the sideboard has 3 abeyance, one of my favorite cards of all time, 2 Armageddon, another classic, 3 Aura of Silence, 3 Curse Scroll, 1 Disenchant, and 3 Spirit Link. Very nice. That's what the back looks like. We have some of the artist proof / proxy cards. Collect all 4 decks. Let's see, this is Brian Hacker. His White Weenie deck rolled over competitors with more than 20 aggressive creatures. This horde relies on creatures with shadow and in-core to overwhelm the unprepared, with the threat of cataclysm looming large. Right, very cool. So let's start off with sideboard. We have 3 Curse Scroll. Absolute classic, great for closing out games. It was basically the colorless burn spell of the time. It's a 1-mana artifact. 3 tap and name a card. Target opponent chooses a card at random from your hand. If he or she chooses the named card, Cursed Scroll deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So, pretty good. Still good, actually. Sees a lot of play in pre-modern. Several cards in this do. Spirit Link. This is actually where we get the concept of lifelink from. This was originally in Alpha, if I remember correctly. No, it was in Legends. Then it was added into Revised. For a white, it's an enchant creature. For each 1 damage enchanted creature deals, gain 1 life. I believe we have 3 of those. Yep. Abeyance. This was our old combo protection back in the day. Also just a good way of shutting down decks. But 1 in a white instant until end of turn, target player cannot play instants, interrupts, sorceries, or abilities requiring an activation cost. Draw a card. So you could play this during your opponent's upkeep to lock down what they're trying to do for the turn. Or you can play it during your turn to protect something that you want to do. And it replaces itself. So we got 3 copies of Abeyance. Aura of Silence. 1 white enchantment, artifact, and enchantment spells cost target opponent an additional 2 to play. Sacrifice Aura of Silence, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So it sits around and taxes your opponent's artifacts and enchantments, and also sits around like a seal of removal. Or, is it seal of removal? I think that's right. To destroy an artifact or enchantment that sticks. We have one disenchant, one in a white, instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Is the quintessential disenchant card. Ended up getting moved over to green later on with Naturalize, and then Bring to Nature, some of the other similar kind of cards. Then we have Armageddon, 3 and a white, sorcery, destroy all lands. I love Armageddon. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. I wish it was still being printed, but it's just not the kind of Magic that they want us to play anymore, I guess. But you get ahead, you destroy all lands, and then you ride that to victory most of the time. Alright, Brian Hacker, quarterfinalist. 23-year-old professional Magic player, Brian Hacker of San Diego, California, thought he had a good chance of winning the finals with his White Weenie deck. Hacker said his deck was well set up to defeat his opponents with its 20-something aggressive creatures, including a number of shadow and Uncore creatures. Unlike traditional White Weenie decks, which rely on Armageddon as a major threat card, Hacker's deck uses Cataclysm, which he feels better complements the use of Imperial Armor. Fair enough. Alright, now on to our lands. So we have Plains by Therese Nielsen. Could be 17 of them. That beautiful art from Tempest. Still one of my favorite Plains of all time, as far as the set goes. Very dark and broody Plains. And relatively abstract, too. I'm pretty sure these were done in watercolor. We have Soul Warden. I forgot to cover the art for the artist for the sideboard. Guess I'll do that now while I still remember. Alright, Armageddon, Jesper Mirfors. Disenchant, L.A. Williams. Aura of Silence, D. Alexander Gregory. Abeyance, Thomas Gianni. Spirit Link, Kaya Foglio. Love that version of Spirit Link too. And Cursed Scroll, D. Alexander Gregory. Actually, I have some signed Cursed Scrolls. Next we have Soul Warden, art by Randy Gallegos. For a white, you get a 1/1 cleric with whenever any other creature comes into play, you gain a life. 4 copies. Tithe, art by John J. Muth. Not sure. For a white, it's an instant. Search your library for a Plains card. If you control fewer lands than target opponent, you may search your library for an additional Plains card. Reveal those cards to all players and put them into your hand. Shuffle your library afterwards. This was the fixed version of land tax. Still very powerful. We have 4 copies. Sultari Visionary. Art by Adam Rex. 1 white for a 2/2 cleric with shadow. So this creature can only block or be blocked by creatures with shadow. If Sultari Visionary damages any player, If Sultari Visionary damages any player, destroy target enchantment that player controls. Keep in mind that is not optional. And we have 1 copy. Imperial Armor. Art by D. Alexander Gregory. 1 white, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Very nice. We should have 4 copies of that. Yep. Cataclysm, art by Jim Nelson. Jim Nelson. Huh. That's interesting. I knew a guy named Jim Nelson a long time ago. I don't think they're the same person, though. 2 white for sorcery. Each player chooses from the permanents he or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land, and sacrifices the rest. Works pretty well with Imperial Armor. And we have 4 copies of that. Next up we have Disenchant. Again, L.A. Williams art, 1 and a white, instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. We have 3 copies in the main deck. Aura of Silence, yet again, D. Alexander Gregory, 1 white enchantment, artifact and enchantment spells cost target opponent an additional 2 to play. Sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. We have 1 copy. The good old White Knight, the standard bear for white at the time, but art by Daniel Gellin, white for a 2/2 knight with first strike and protection from black. Should have 4 copies. Yep. Sultari Priest, kind of like Silver Knight from Scourge much later, very similar to White Knight. Art by Janet Alicio, but white for a 2/1 cleric with protection from red and shadow. Pretty good. Also, at this time, we have 4 copies. Her scroll was really good at dealing with the Sultari creatures, which were fairly hard to get to interact with outside of red at the time. Well, red and white. Sultari Monk, another Janet Alicio art, but white for a 2/1 cleric with protection from black and shadow. We have 4 copies. Warrior in Core, art by Stephen Danielle, white for a 2/2 knight with 0 redirect 1 damage from Warrior in Core to a creature you control. So common thing would be to redirect 1 damage each to other knights, or to something that you've pumped with the Imperial armor. We have 4 copies of Warrior in Core. Next we have Nomads in Core. Still sees significant play in a number of combo decks, including Cephalid Breakfast, but with art by Val Merrick. But for a white, you get a 1/1 Soldiers with 0 redirect 1 damage from Nomads in Core to a creature you control. Even sees play with Nadu. Actually, it's one of the core cards to go with Nadu. We have 3 copies of Nomads in Core. And last but not least, we have Paladin in Vec. The art by Randy Elliott. 1 white for a 2/2 knight with first strike, protection from black, and protection from red. It's like somebody stapled a Silver Knight and a White Knight together. I have 3 copies. Overall, a nice, clean white weenie list. Just does what it says on the 10. Small creatures that overwhelm your opponent. Yeah. As always, thank you for joining me on this adventure. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. I'm recording this on Christmas Day, so it is being recorded a little early. So, yeah. Until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.